All right. I'm Scott Wilkins with Backstage View. We're at Delfest 2018. We are here with Eric Avey of Mountain Ride. Eric, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, well, thanks for everything you do. Your music
yeah.
is amazing. We're just talking as we're setting up here about how you guys were just at Gray Fox last year
Yes,
with
indeed
the
we
emerging
were.
artists. Tell me about how that all came about.
Actually, Mary, who runs the festival, came to one of our Baltimore shows and invited us the next day. I got an email saying, "Hey, by the way, you guys might be invited to play Gray Fox as emerging artists."
Wow.
So we gladly accepted, and we went. Had such a blast. So good that they invited us back this year. So we're doing a main stage set this year, and the Meadowgrass stage. We're doing 2 sets there.
Awesome. And
on
how'd
that
you get?
Friday.
And then you got into Delfest here as well.
Yeah, the history for Delfest for Mountain Ride goes way back, even before Mountain Ride was even existed. My wife and I had been volunteering here, and we were helping raise charities for the Allegheny Fairgrounds, selling the raffle tickets.
Right.
And so, and that whole process, that's been about the last 8 years.
Wow.
So this is our 10th year attending Delfest, and yeah, we've been trying to get our band Mountain Ride in here for the last 5 years, and this year was our year, and we're doing 2 sets this year on the Potomac stage and in the music hall. And
Wow. So, but before you got Gray Fox, you guys just playing like local places? And
well,
just...
we've been doing a lot of shows. I guess we do most of the East Coast, from Maine to Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we've. I think we're at about 15 states right now on the East Coast. This summer we're hitting a few new states.
How did the band form originally?
The band formed. We started playing traditional bluegrass right away, right off the bat. Just my wife and I, and we'd had different pickers come in, different banjo players and mandolin players. If I needed a banjo player, we'd just have some hired gun, which we've had some pretty awesome ones, like Pappy from Cabinet has played with us quite a few times, and just different pickers from different bands we would just assemble. And then when we wanted to start moving towards original music, we needed to like finalize a lineup and kind of start doing something a little more permanent, because we wanted to pursue original music. I write most of the songs in the band at the time, but there are other songwriters in our band currently, and we do some of their tunes. But that's kind of how it evolved from traditional kind of pickup gigs, and then once we started finally putting the puzzle pieces together, things started clicking. And for the last 3 years, like I said, we've been doing New England, and now we're as far south as the Florida Keys.
So it was about 3 years
about
ago
3
that
years,
you
yeah.
that you decided this is going to be something.
Yeah,
that you
something we're
put
going to
your all
pursue
into.
and go with.
Right.
And
So that's pretty cool. In 3 years' time, now you're at the most major festivals that there are.
Yeah, we're absolutely blown away of the support and love we're getting from our fans and new fans. And I was just telling someone today, this is, I think, our 6th festival of the season already, and it's only May.
Yeah,
you know, and we think we have festivals every single weekend now until September. So
I think also bluegrass fans are a breed of their own. Also,
they are. They're the best.
Yeah, they're more supportive.
We've had friends travel with us to the Keys and all the way as far as Belfast, Maine. Like, we've been to the top of Maine to the bottom of Florida. So
wow,
we've had friends and fans. Friends and fans who have now become family too, you know, in our Mountain Ride community. So
did you
really cool.
do you write the songs like just naturally? That's what you do, or do you have to like sit down and say, "Wow, I got to write a song now"?
I've always explained it like this: if they don't come within 10 or 15 minutes, they usually get tossed to the side, and I'll never visit them again.
Right.
So the best ones are the ones that come really quick, and that's where our passion is now, is arranging and performing our own original sound, our own, like, forming something that people can recognize and notice. And although we still pull from a lot of roots of bluegrass.
So who are the influences?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I mean, I am on the jammier side of bluegrass.
Right.
So I'm fans of, the Dusters and Yonder, and Old in the Way, of course, has been a key for a lot of people to cross over to the bluegrass genre. So, I mean, just those couple there, of course, the McCurries and the Traveling McCurries and the Little Smokies and Leftover, and we're also all rockers at heart. I mean, we're all Deadheads in our band. We're all fans of the Dead and Fish, and so we kind of our banjo player Corey Woodcock, he's the one that brings the true bluegrass element to our sound. You know, I mean, he's the banjo. He's a second generation banjo picker. You know, he and his dad both play, and he brings that true bluegrass influence to us. So it's neat how everyone in the band brings their own flavor to the table.
Who else is in the band?
Scott Matlock plays the violin, and he's more of a classically trained violinist who has crossed over to improv and jamgrass and jamming.
Which is getting common.
It is very common.
Beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, and he's very talented. Chance, our mandolin player, the great story about him is we needed a mandolin player, and he's actually a guitar player, an incredible guitar player, and we needed a mandolin player at the time when we were transitioning over, and he hopped on board with little experience, and to hear him now, you would think he's been playing for 20, 30 years.
What do you mean by transitioning over?
Well, whenever we were trying to finalize a lineup, we had different pickers.
Right.
Yeah.
So the music was always the same.
The music was always the same in our approach to it. We would pick a lot of trad songs, traditional songs, and we cover a lot of different bands that we love. Bob Marley and Grateful Dead, and of course just all the different traditional bluegrass sounds. But so Chance kind of transitioned over to the mandolin and transitioned over with us and took our band to the next level. I mean, he's an incredible shredder. I mean, to watch him perform is a treat, and to be able to stand beside him while we're playing is an absolute honor. And like I said, Corey, our banjo picker, he brought the true bluegrass sound to us. So we do cover a lot of traditional songs, and we can play traditional bluegrass, but again, we all plug in. We're all rockers at heart. We use effects at times, and we like to get wild. But the most point, the best point is we have fun. And my wife plays the upright bass. She does most of the harmony singing. She steals the show. She does. I mean, she holds the band together on and off stage. I mean, she helps run the business aspect of it, and she keeps us in line with the bass and the grooves and.
It's good to have someone who's happy to take on that part, because that part alone could sink you if you didn't have
exactly. It's a full-time job, and we all kind of have our departments per se at this point. I mean, as we're growing, we know where our roles are, falling. So we need to, we work as great as a team. I mean, communication, is huge in any relationship. It's like we're a family. Right. And we have to function that way.
Which will fit in perfectly here at Delfest too. And when you're out there playing all these stages, Corey's are probably going to be walking out, joining you at some point.
Right, right.
And it's not just one of them. You probably get a few of them.
I've had the honor of playing with the whole band. I did the Academy a few years ago here at
Oh,
Delfest.
really?
So I got to experience that whole actually playing with the McCurrys. And then the year that I attended, I was up during one of the jams in the Academy, and one of my best bluegrass moments ever was singing a duet with Del himself.
Oh my God!
He stood in the back of the jam, and as we're playing, I sang the first verse and chorus, and Jason Carter came in. We sang a chorus together. All of a sudden, Del McCurry comes out of nowhere, says, "Do you mind if I sing this next chorus?"
Do you mind?
Yeah, can I sing this next chorus with you? And I looked at him. He looked at me, and we smiled big, and how Del smiles.
Oh, man.
And I looked at Del, and I'm sharing a microphone with Del McCurry, and I'm looking into his eyes singing, and I'm seeing the years of bluegrass traditions. And I can't believe, my knees were weak. I could barely stand. That's the best bluegrass musical moment I've ever had. And I walked outside after that song, and I hugged the first stranger I could find to hold me up.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, and he had a moment too. And then we've talked since. Like I said, we volunteered here a couple years, so we've been down, hanging out with Del and talking to him, Such a great family.
We were discussing last night, a few of us, how we all feel we're all rational, kind of sane people, and although we're big fans, there's not too much that gets you really like a 15-year-old or 12-year-old girl, for pop music or your favorite artist. But when Del comes by, all bets are off, man. Everyone just because he drove by and everyone, I was just noticing, everyone was just freaking out. Man.
Yeah. They melt. They melt. But what the cool thing about it is they're the most approachable people in music. They really are. Mountain Ride did a show about 3 years ago down on the Bricks in Cumberland. They were assembling to have a meal. I think it was during one of the talks about keeping the festival here, during one of those downtown meetings with the city of Cumberland. And we were asked to perform during one of their dinners down on the Bricks. So Mountain Ride, and we thought it was just for Del. Del was the guest of honor. We were told there was a special guest of honor. We knew who it was going to be. So we're down there playing. We're playing bluegrass. We're playing traditional bluegrass. And you've seen the crowd all focused to one area. We're like, wow, here he comes. Well, here was the whole Del McCoury band. We had no idea the whole band was going to, Robbie and Ronnie. And they all sat down and had dinner. And then we all went over and met them and had, pictures taken with them. Just the sweetest family in the world. I mean, the McCoury family, they're doing it right.
Which it just walking around the festival and just being a member of the Del Fest, coming here year after year, you can just taste it all around.
Oh, it's my favorite weekend.
But those guys work hard, though. The boys, they don't stop.
No.
This weekend, they won't be getting much sleep.
No, they won't. They'll be out picking with everyone. And
so how do people find you guys on social media?
Social media, they can start at mountainridebluegrass.com. That's our main site. And from there, you can branch off to all of our social media accounts from there. We're heavy into the social media.
Are you just right now putting the pedal to the metal and just trying to play as often as you can?
We are. Like I said, we're at a festival every weekend until September at this point.
Do you have some music out, some albums out?
We have 2 albums. We have 2 albums here for sale. Both albums are available on every social media site, iTunes.
Tell me about how you
Spotify.
put the albums together. Like when you put it together.
Well, we with the very first Mountain Ride album is no longer in print, and that was a self-produced, self-recorded album. That was 10 originals, and then the next album we did at Stable Studio in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. I believe that was 12 songs. That was called Time to Roll. That's here for sale, and also on Spotify and iTunes.
Right.
And so our newest album is called One Place to Go. That was released last October. That's 13 original songs. We really push the original music. We're ready to record our 4th album, which will be anywhere from 12 to 15 brand new originals.
Where do you record it?
The next one, we're not sure. The last one we recorded at 8 Days a Week studio in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, in the center of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That was the first album. We had a producer who's Brett Alexander, who's he's a guy known in Nashville, and he's a guy that's produced a lot of multi-platinum artists. So this is the first time we had a producer in the studio calling the shots, and it was such a pleasure working with him and the way it all came together, and it shows on the album.
When you went in to record the album, did you have all the songs already done?
Yeah, that's how we always go in.
Yeah.
Like right now we have about 15 to 20 songs to choose from a catalog for our next album. I'm putting out songs all the time, and the great thing is our band's so talented. I'll bring the songs to the table, and within a rehearsal we have new songs born and ready to put out, ready to start performing. And then we use the stage wisely. We don't want to put them out too early, play them too often, so when fans get the album, they're like, well, I already know these songs. We try to keep some a secret, so whenever the album comes out, they get some new material. And CD sales are up right now, and the ball's rolling for us. We're climbing the mountain.
I guess there's different ways of looking at it, because I would think that on one level, for the majority of people, when you play it a lot, they're familiar with it, and when they're familiar with it, then they want to hear more.
Exactly. It's when I write now. I write all the set list about an hour before the show to kind of give it that spontaneous approach to it. I mean, we're very rehearsed, we're very organized in our music, so we have a large catalog of songs, original songs we can put together and kind of put for the show, for the vibe, for the feel. And we like to go out there and have fun. I mean, when we go out on stage, the first and foremost thing is to have fun, and connect with the crowd, and we feed off the crowd like any band, like any live act,
Yeah. Hey, Eric, so you guys have a festival. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we do. It's called Camp Bluegrass, and this will be our 4th year, 2018. It's a smaller family-style run festival. that we started again 4 years ago. We started off small, and we're growing, and we wanted to grow slow, even to the point where the first year we brought flyers and posters, to the festivals, the bigger festivals, and hung around, and we seen our attendance double in 1 year.
Wow.
So we were like, well, we better.
What kind of venue is it?
It's an American Legion's picnic ground in
nice.
Greencastle, PA, with a beautiful river that runs through it, lots of shade, pavilions, a professional stage. It's completely set up to house about 5,000 to 8,000 people at max capacity. They have some bigger country shows there and different music events there. So this has been a festival grounds that we've been attending over the last 10, 15 years, different festivals and stuff. And it's very sacred to us because we do a no trash policy at our festival. And this is one of the first ones where I've ever seen it completely work to the point where we leave the grounds better than when we entered it. And we really pride ourselves in that. It's a trash carry-in, carry-out policy. So people are more aware of what they're bringing into a festival and what they're taking with them and what they really need to bring to them. And again, it's a very, very family atmosphere festival. It's got like an old school approach to the bluegrass scene, but with a newgrass sound. It's a little bit more advanced sounds, but we like to cover all the genres of bluegrass there, from old time, around a single mic, to progressive, to traditional, and and everywhere in between. There's no rules.
How long is it for?
It's a 2-day festival now. It was a 1-day festival, and what happens is on Friday night we do an acoustic set by the creek or by the river, a candlelit set by Mountain Ride. So people come in and get early, set up on Friday, kind of a meet and greet. It's kind of a warm up. Food vendors and everyone. The production part is all still setting up on Friday, and then we just have it's like I said, it's very family oriented. We have RV sites right along the river. It's such a beautiful. It's right off Interstate 81 in Greencastle, PA. So it's really easy to get to off the interstate. Very secluded and private. Like I said, lots of people set their chairs up in the creek, in the river, and can watch the stage from the creek.
What time of year is it?
This is the second weekend in June, so it's June 8th and 9th. It's always.
So it's coming up.
It's coming up, yeah. It's always the second weekend in June. This will be our 4th year. We have a very special event planned for the 5th year anniversary. Again,
How many bands are there?
We have, this year, I think we have only 8 bands on Saturday. The beauty of it is
it's a
right
full
now.
Day?
Full day, yeah, full day. Camping on site, car camping.
Wow.
Like I said, again, we police ourselves. I mean, it's such a beautiful community. The Mountain Ride family is growing in that sense. And it's, like I said, my wife and our children, we have 3 kids. They all help run the gate. I mean, everyone helps pitches in here. I'm parking cars. What the great thing is we greet every single person that comes through the gate.
Wow.
So we want to know who's coming into our festival. Sure. We want to greet them, and
they got to be a little surprised if they know you.
Yeah. We see every single person who comes through the gate.
Wow.
And it's a nice connection, and it's super laid back. We've been blessed with incredible weather the last 3 years. We're hoping for great weather, like we're getting here at Delfest right now. This is pretty good.
Knock on wood, right?
Exactly. But it's Camp Bluegrass. All that stuff, all that info is found on our website. And we have food vendors and craft vendors, and it's about 300-400 people. I mean, but we're keeping it at that kind of level. It's an intimate performance. One of the cool things about it is once the festival shuts down, most pickers from some pickers from all the bands kind of gather down by the creek, and there's a jam till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, people have fond memories of that jam. So
I bet.
And bluegrass connects us all. So,
it does, yeah.
I mean, that's why we're doing it.
Awesome. So we'll look forward to seeing you here.
Yes.
And we'll all look for on the social media, Mountain Ride.
Mountain Ride, yeah.
.com.
MountainRideBluegrass.com.
MountainRideBluegrass.com.
Yeah.
And we'll be looking for your tour schedule too, because if you're going to be everywhere.
We're everywhere at this point. Like I said, Maine to Florida. We're looking at heading west. We have a lot of fans in Colorado already.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And across the country, really. I mean, social media is huge on that aspect because we have friends that have relocated all over, and people are helping spread the word of Mountain Ride. So
I think the beautiful thing too is in this day and age, people are traveling. We're all on the move. So I might just be visiting somewhere, and I have friends there, and that's what hey, check this out.
Exactly.
That's how we get you get more and more popular, I'd say. But anyway, thanks for sitting down here. Good luck later, man. We'll be coming by and checking it out. And
please do.
All right, man.